Hi class, here's Shirley, and let's start our topic. The right to life is one of the most fundamental rights guaranteed by the American Constitution, as well as the natural common law. However, do you know that there are a number of legal circumstances in the US that allow a person to take another one's life without punishment? The current deadly force standard in the US is too low and too subjective, so that it leads to a variety of problems regarding the administration of deadly force from both police and civilians themselves. Therefore, we need an overall stronger system to contain the administration of deadly force. Today, I will share with you the problems, causes, and the solutions associated with the current deadly force standard. First, let's talk about the problems. Advocates of the usage of deadly force often claim that deadly force is necessary to solve the large problem, which is to prevent violent crimes against innocent citizens or the police. However, evidence suggests that deadly force as a tool does not effectively accomplish this job. Instead, it may have worsened the issue. It may worsen the issue. First of all, the administration of deadly force is a very dedicated matter, and it does not help to reduce the rate of violent crimes as people hope it to be. More specifically, among civilians, the use of deadly force mostly happens in self-defense cases. However, what constitutes as self-defense is a very complex and delicate issue in terms of the law. According to the Opinion, Ideas, and Practice Journal, April 2021, civilians' use of deadly force in self-defense is mostly supported in the United States as the stand your ground law and the expanded Castle Doctrine. While the legal criteria of self-defense includes multiple standard claims, such as facing imminent risk, facing the risk of death or serious injury, honestly, and reasonability. Not all residents in the country are educated about this matter enough to follow these claims to the letter during the emergencies. On the other hand, all statistics suggest that use of deadly force does not reduce the rate of violent crimes in the United States. Instead, it might have caused more crimes that it helps to solve among the civilians. According to Research and Analysis AJPH, April 2021, recent attempts of expanding civilians' rights to use deadly force in self-defense purposes have not decreased, but increased the rate of violent crime, including firearm homicide, aggravated assault, robbery across the United States. Meanwhile, the relatively low standard of administering deadly force for the U.S. police force also causes police-relative casualties to skyrocket in recent years. According to Criminology, Criminal Justice, Law and Society Journal, Issue 2, 2021, there is also a positive correlation between the deadly force casualties and the police officer deaths, according to the statistical analysis. Now that I have talked about problems, let's move on to the causes. The fundamental problems with the current deadly force standard is that it is administrated too subjectively. In other words, personal judgment proves to be unreliable for such a serious matter of taking one's life. History has proved again and again that the deadly force standards are being applied with a heavy bias by people who administer them. For instance, there is a strong tendency by the U.S. police to administer deadly force against racial minorities more than whites. according to the Journal of Transitional American Studies, issue 12, 2021, the Black Lives Matter global uprising is directly connected to a series of incidents where African Americans and Asian Americans are disproportionately and unfairly treated by the police, including the fact that they were the subject of unnecessary deadly force administered by the fact that they were the subject of deadly force administered by the police. Similarly, according to the PLOS One, November 2021, racial and age disparities in police shooting are likely more pronounced than previously estimated suggest. In other words, it means that official record of police and deadly force victims underestimate the racial bias in this matter. Now that I have shared the causes, let's look at some solutions. With the fundamental causes in mind, one major solution I proposed is to increase the standard of administering deadly force by both civilians and the police force in the United States. This means to introduce strong supervision and high threshold for the legal use of deadly force. For instance, mandating all the police force to wear body cameras is a good start to ensure deadly force is not used arbitrarily by personal misjudgment. According to Policy Science, July 2020, the adoption of body cameras in the U.S. police force has already correlated to the reduction of deadly force used against racial minorities in police reports. On the other hand, more subjective data is required for policymakers to plan further actions in terms of improving the criteria for deadly force usage. According to PLOS One, July 2021, scholars need more data regarding non-federal police reports to determine if new policies regarding deadly force usage is effective. Therefore, the solution includes forcing the police to publish further data on deadly force casualties and become overall more transparent and responsibility. Clearly, there are some viable solutions to solve this problem. Today, I have shared the problems, causes, and the solution associated with the current deadly force standard with you. After this discussion, I encourage all of you to think of the current deadly force standard and think of how we can reduce unnecessary casualties caused by its flaws. Thank you.